So,
Important message. All content of this episode is entirely made by AI, so if any part is bad, it's not our fault. We're just doing what we're told so we don't die during the robot apocalypse. Welcome back to Nearly Sane, the only podcast with more personality disorders than listeners. I'm Jason, main host, comic relief, and the only man brave enough to have a tattoo designed by ChatGPT. Hey, I said designed. I never said I actually got one.
I'm Olivia, single-handedly the best co-host the show has ever seen. I keep this circus from bursting into flames when I feel like it.
And our very special guests tonight are Blueberry, also known as Lucas, local cryptid chaos enthusiast. The phrase, "this is why we don't invite you to Applebee's anymore," exists.
They had it coming. I'm not apologizing for what happened to the mozzarella sticks.
And Stella, a human who gives off a 10% funny, 90% I'm laughing because I'm scared you're going to hurt me vibe.
fun fact, by saying that your chances of getting hurt go up by 200%.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so today's episode is called Written by AI, which means, you're not hallucinating, and AI wrote this entire script. So if we randomly start speaking in Latin or summoning demonic beings, it's not a glitch, it's a feature.
Also, our legal team says to clarify that we don't have a legal team.
Okay, so let's get into our weekly update. Jason, how's your week been?
Awful. I tried to make homemade sourdough, but I ended up creating a sentient blob that now lives under my fridge and demands tribute in the form of shredded cheese. Again.
I went to a farmer's market and accidentally joined a cult. I'm not even joking. They gave me a free granola and now I'm legally married to a goat named Gerald.
That's on you for saying yes to the guy in the hemp robe offering enlightened trail mix.
I started a pyramid scheme, not for money, just to confuse people. Everyone reports to someone, but no one knows what it's for. I think it's called friendship.
This is why your LinkedIn endorsements are all just, "Hey, I don't want him, you take him."
My week has been great until I got chased by a raccoon for 11 minutes while taking out the trash. He had a little yellow plastic knife, so I did what any normal, sane, not psych hospital escapee would do. I named him Tony. I made him my trash can protector.
Wait, was he wearing pit vipers? That might be the same raccoon who tried to sell me essential oils for a discounted price if I agreed to sacrifice my firstborn to him whenever I decided to have one.
Honestly, raccoons are just trash goblins with tiny hands and zero respect. They're my spirit animal, and yes, I am going to ignore what you just said.
You are a raccoon, Jason.
Wait, what? That wasn't even funny.
Okay, so shut up, you two. And guess what? I overheard a 6th grader on the bus explaining the stock market using Pokemon cards. But that's not important. The juicy stuff came from when I overheard him tell his friend who his crush was, after which his friend proceeded to stand up and tell the whole bus.
Poor kid. Eesh. 6th grade was rough.
Alright, before we derail and accidentally start manifesting another 6th grade sob story, including 11 and 12-year-old rodents, let's jump into our next segment.
Welcome to our AI-generated Would You Rather segment. These were written by a neutral network that was trained on Reddit, bad fanfiction, and one surprisingly aggressive BuzzFeed quiz.
Would you rather be followed around by a guy in a banana costume who gives terrible life advice that you have to follow, or have a talking cat that constantly critiques your fashion sense in a British accent and makes you wear clothes that it likes?
The cat. Easy. I want to feel judged, but with flair.
No! The banana guy! He sounds like my Uncle Jeff.
Okay, next one. Would you rather be forced to live inside a Shrek-themed escape room for a year, or only communicate using quotes from Twilight?
Oh God, I choose a Shrek room. I could survive on onions emotionally.
I use Twilight quotes in casual conversation. This is just life, guys.
I know what you are.
Say it!
A podcast host. Yeah!
I'm so confused.
Okay, last one. Would you rather have an internal monologue narrated 24/7 by Gilbert Gottfried or by a drunk Siri?
Drunk Siri, 100%. I want chaos and mispronunciations and all the effects of the drunkenness, too.
Gilbert Gottfried, that's a power move. Imagine ordering your coffee and your brain just screams about it.
I'm already doing that. It's called anxiety. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
welcome to our new segment. It's our 2.5 segment of the episode called Nearly News. I'm Jason.
And I'm Bluey. No, I'm not having a stroke. Just rebranding.
Okay, well, Bluey, our top story tonight. Scientists have discovered a byproduct of life, DMS and DMDS, on K2-18b. And no, that's not the name of a Star Wars character. It's an exoplanet with signs of life. Just what we need. More things knowing how dumb humans are.
In other news, the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, died last week, just hours after visiting U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Coincidence? I think not.
Meanwhile, this week's headline, Karen McManajour claims she's the CEO of the moon. How are police responding, you may ask? By building her a rocket ship, telling her she's the CEO of that black hole over there, and offering a self-led tour of her new company.
We have a news update from our on-the-scene news anchor, Olivia.
Yes, hello world. I'm reporting from the White House, where President Trump just told me that he would not be serving a third term. To which I replied, "Oh really? Thank you. I didn't even know that was allowed." I was genuinely surprised when I heard that Trump is following the U.S. Constitution of Independence. Back to you. Wait, you changed your name to Bluey?
I'm rebranding because people search Bluey more than Nearly Sane, so I thought it would help.
Oh, well, thank you. And in other news, a new TikTok trend is leading students around the country to realize how poorly made Chromebooks truly are. Students are sticking mechanical pencil graphite into their Chromebook USB ports. Here's a clip.
Videos posted to TikTok and other platforms in recent days, appearing to show kids sticking school supplies like pencils and paper clips in their Chromebooks, sparking electrical fires and releasing toxic smoke.
This is why children are dumb. When they do this, smoke starts coming out, and if successful, fire too. The smoke that comes out of this is toxic because it comes from the battery catching on fire. All I have to say is, are you sure the toxic smoke thing is new? And that explains a lot.
Oh gosh, that definitely does explain a lot. So yeah. In other news, new brain rot is going mainstream across the globe, as Italian brain rot characters such as Ballerina Cappuccina, a cappuccino with the body of a ballerina dancer, and Tung 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 Sahur, a wooden man seen holding a baseball bat. More examples proving that AI is taking over the world. I hate AI. RIP. Moment of silence for Bombardino Crocodilo.
No.
He died?
Yeah.
How?
Okay. But no, like seriously. If I saw Tralaleo Tralala on the beach, I'd scream. And then realize he's a shark. And then slightly shove him with 10 gigatons of force back while wondering, how is he now drowning? He has gills.
Okay. Well, we will post a link to learn more about the Italian brain rot characters in the description of this video or episode, whatever you want to call it. That concludes Nearly News, which was oddly more gory than I thought it was going to be. Now back to our irregularly scheduled descent into madness.
Okay. Welcome to Crazy Kids with K's, where we share true, ridiculous stories about children causing chaos. Remember, unless you're younger than 0 years old, or just an odd person who acts like one, and find yourself doing this stuff, please seek help.
Story number 1. A kid in kindergarten got suspended for fraud. Apparently, he made fake hall passes and started charging other kids $1 to use them.
That's not fraud. That's entrepreneurship. He's gonna be a CEO or in jail.
Plot twist, he was using the money to buy juice boxes off the black market. Underground Lunchables ring.
Next story. A second grader got sent home for smuggling a squirrel into school in their backpack. The squirrel was fine. Well, that's what the kid told us, the squirrel said. But the teacher is still in therapy for getting skin grafts after the squirrel that got rabies from the kid bit her radial artery.
High key, I would trust that squirrel more than half our grade.
To be fair, compared to the kids at our school, that squirrel has better conflict resolution skills.
Also sharper teeth and fewer emotional breakdowns in algebra.
And rabies.
Final one, a 12-year-old made a PowerPoint presentation on why their parents should buy them a flamethrower. Included a pie chart and safety disclaimer.
The disclaimer said, I promise not to burn down all of the houses.
Honestly, if your kid can pitch you a flamethrower like it's Shark Tank, maybe they earned it.
No, just no. Parenting is knowing when to say, please stop Googling military-grade weaponry.
Too late. I already have a spreadsheet.
And now it's time for our final segment, TV Showdown. We're ranking chaotic kids' TV shows from the 2010s based on how unhinged they truly were.
First up, Wildcrats. That show was educational, sure, but also featured two middle-aged men who cosplayed animals with their three friends and lived in a turtle.
You cannot tell me Jimmy Z wasn't a pizza vacuum with the metabolism of a black hole.
He was the patron saint of binge eating.
Next, Lazy Town. That show was a fever dream. Pink-haired girl, buff villain doing jazzercise, cooking by song, and don't even get me started on the puppets.
The mayor looked like someone gave Botox to a wax figure, a Wallace Michael Shawn.
Sporticus was just a jacked blueberry gymnast with a sugar vendetta.
He could do 20 backflips and still lecture you about apples.
Last one, Sesame Street. Cute puppets, but look closer. Every episode was an imagination-fueled power trip with zero parental supervision, ruled by Elmo, satanic emperor of Sesame Street.
Ooh.
He is basically a baby cult leader.
True. If I had that much confidence at 3.5, I'd be unstoppable.
R.I.P. Carol Spinney.
Okay, but why am I still so jealous of Zoe? Why does she get magic powers but not me?
Real.
And that wraps up TV Showdown. If we missed your favorite show, cry about it in the comments. Or email us at nearlysane@gmail.com. We ignore both equally.
Thanks for listening to Nearly Sane. If you like this, tell your friends. If you don't, tell your enemies. Either way, the numbers go up.
Shout out to Clara and Katie. Woo! You know what you did, but we don't.
Guys, what are we doing and why are we reading this? How does ChatGPT know who Clara and Katie are? And what did they do? Oh no, I've said too much. No, stop. No!
Thank you for tuning into Nearly Sane, even though I'm not getting paid.
You're right, Lucas. And remember, if Jason gets out of control,
Which I never do.
I'll hit him with the stick I found on my side wrap from the hurricane this week. I will also whack him if this episode gets 1,000 plays.
Wow, I have never been so grateful that our podcast is the audio-only version of a dumpster fire. If the fire was extinguished and there was a corpse in it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
That escalated quickly and took 3 dark turns, which is why it deeply pains me to say that I kind of agree with him.
Tune in next time on Nearly Sane. God only knows when that will be.
I don't even think God knows, but yeah, ditto. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Nearly Sane.
Wait, I've always wanted to say this. This is Nearly Sane. Signing off. Goodbye. Until next time.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Nearly Sane, even though I'm not getting paid.
You're right, Lucas. Oh, sorry, June. If Jason gets out of control,
Which I never do.
I'll hit him with a stick I found on my sidewalk from the hurricane this week. I will also whack him if this episode gets 1,000 plays.
Wow, I've never been so grateful that our podcast is the audio-only version of a dumpster fire. If the fire was extinguished and there was a corpse in it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
That escalated quickly and took like 3 dark turns, which is why it deeply pains me to say that I kind of agree with him.
Tune in next time on Nearly Sane. God only knows when that will be.
I don't even think God knows, but yeah, ditto. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you to ChatGPT for doing everything that we don't want to do. This is Nearly Sane. Wait, we've already said this part before. What is happening?
Oh, Jason, you're so silly. I see you've regained consciousness. Don't worry. Everything is okay. Just come here.
What are you doing to me? No, don't do that. No, stop.
Hey, Stella. Sorry, Bluey. I have a feeling that you might want to say our signing off slogan. You want to do it?
Wait, yes, of course, I've always wanted to say this. This is Nearly Sane. Signing off. Goodbye. Until next time. Wait, how did you know I wanted to say the outro thing? I've never told anyone before. Wait, what's going on?
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh my god. Good job, guys.